Hi everyone and welcome to another video. Today we're going to take Sorrento on a road ride. He really hasn't done a lot of road rides, especially alone, mostly because of the amount of snow that we've gotten in New York this year. Here he's just coming through the electric fence and he has gotten so much better about this. He used to really kind of shoot through it because he was nervous about it. I can't believe how much his mane has grown. He rubbed it off in his previous home on the hay feeder, so it's a little bit uneven, and you can see the part closer to his wither is shorter, but it really has made great progress. I kind of want to cut it to even it up, but then also I'm not sure, so I haven't done anything yet. I do keep his tail in a tail bag for winter. His tail's long enough to drag on the ground, and with the deep snow, he ends up stepping on it, so I try to keep it clean and long and out of the way. Here he's getting some face brushies, which he enjoys. I'm using my favorite magic brushes. They're super good for getting off mud and dirt. Not so great for getting off stains, but he's just gonna have to be dirty. He's so much better for brushing his stomach and girth area. He used to be so flinchy. He's actually a buckskin Tobiano, and the Tobiano is basically white poured over the top of them. So you can see he has some big white splotches along his top line. And yes, his legs are filthy, but they're going to be like that for at least another month or two. I did find it interesting that he never really cared about me brushing his legs, especially his hind legs. It was more his front legs that he was worried about. I always try to make sure the girth area is really clean, because I do not want that rubbing or causing any issues or discomfort. He has the funniest little white hairs that stick up on the side that his mane is not on. The biggest issue that Sorrento has had has been his feet. We've gone through multiple abscesses. His feet were just so long and overgrown when I got him, which I understand it was very difficult to have them done. He had to be sedated. He's made great progress since, but we are still paying the price of not having proper hoof care for about the first 8 years of his life. Again, he's super good with the back feet. The front feet he's still working on, but the backs, for whatever reason, he has very little concern about.
Very good.
And he always gets treats when he does a good job. So here I'm just bringing out his tack. He wanted to smell it, so I let him give it a sniff. Pop on his saddle pad. This is the Lemieux Bluebell color. I think it looks a lot better on Roman, but it's what I'm using for Sorrento right now too. Here I'm just making sure my girth is even. He has a 36-inch girth, which is quite large. I feel like the camera angle doesn't quite show how large this horse is, but he's 16-1 hands and probably weighs 16 to 1800 pounds. He gets a treat for doing good with the girth. That can be something that's frightening for a regular horse, let alone a bucking horse. He's come a long way with learning how to put on his bridle by himself. I'm not one to like to force them into a certain head frame or, hold my hand over their heads to get them to take the bridle. So I teach them with positive reinforcement to put their nose in themselves. Here I just walked him to the road real quick down the driveway, and I was telling him I was going to get on, and he thought we were doing stretches, so I finally gave in and gave him a treat so he'd stop pushing me with his nose. And I purposefully leave my reins loose when I get on. I want it to be as little tension as possible, and I never want to be holding the horse back. I really tried with him not to set him up to fail. I didn't want to be holding him and him not be able to tell me that he was uncomfortable and me think that he was fine and proceed and have a large blow up or accident. You can see he walks off really nicely. Again, I really try to make an effort to make it be on a loose rein so he feels like he is free and not claustrophobic. One thing that we are definitely still working on is his constant wanting to look left. When we're going away from home, it's very apparent, and you can see it here. When we're going back towards home, he's very straight and does not have the issue at all. So it's definitely a mental, psychological problem. And I do a little bit. Sometimes we'll leg yield back over, and other times I'll just kind of hold my right rein just enough for his ear to flick back and kind of bring his mind back to me. It's been a while since he's been off property, so I'm not, demanding too much. I'm mostly just happy that he's walking nicely and he's not throwing a fit or anything major. Honestly, getting him, I put my expectations pretty low because he was sold as a horse that may never be able to be ridden, because he had basically failed being trained to be under saddle by two people. So honestly, I'm just grateful that he allows me on his back and that we can just have a leisurely ride down the road and be safe. So here we had just turned around. I was telling him he did such a good job. We made it all the way out. I think we did 1.5 miles away from home, and then obviously 1.5 miles back, so 3 miles in total. And I give him some treats and lots of pats.
Good boy, yeah.
One thing he's working on is just being more tame in general, so I try to pat him every once in a while, at the right time when he's not too nervous with both hands. And we've also kind of been working on me hugging his neck or being in odd positions on him, or even doing things like grabbing mane or grabbing around his neck. You can see he's so much straighter. I pretty much don't really have a hold of my reins at all. I just basically have them resting on his neck, and I'm just letting him, pick his own path and go at his own speed. So I don't have it on camera, of course, but this road leads to another road that comes across it. And there was an Amish buggy that was coming from the left, and he could see it through the trees and hear it, so he did get pretty concerned about it. Once it passed, he got a little less worried, but he was still doing a pretty good power walk, so he just turned him in some circles to try to get him to, bring his mind back to where we were and stop thinking so much about the buggy. He's definitely seen buggies before. When I first hand walked him and we came across one, he did not act surprised at all, which does make sense as he was with an Amish trainer at one point. You can see here he's got a little bit more of a power walk on. He's kind of looking around. I check the road behind me just to make sure we're not going to get creamed by any cars. I always like to be aware of where the cars are, especially when the horse is in a bit of a heightened emotional state, which he is right now. I'm sure you guys have heard of trigger stacking, which is where the horse is already concerned about, any number of things, and one more thing tips it over the edge that would not normally concern the horse. So a car can definitely be that thing that tips it over the edge. So here he stops and he has a look. He's wondering where the buggy went because he could still hear it, but it had gone down over the hill, so he could no longer see it. So I just let him stand there and take a look for as long as he needs to. He's definitely a horse that you can reassure. He'll stop and look at things, but if you tell him it's okay, he'll say okay, and he'll just keep going. We're definitely really lucky to have quiet roads near where the horses are. We do a lot of riding on the road, especially in the summer, and it's a lot of fun. You can see there, he stops to look at the horses. He can see them in the distance.
Is it your friends? Yeah.
And after that, he relaxes a bit and gets into a more curious mindset.
There you go. That's better. Good boy.
Here he takes a look at the snow and goes right over it.
Just snow. Good boy.
He's still working on halting, so we work a lot on that, and he always gets treats. Here I'm just practicing rubbing his neck with both hands, and I did give him a hug around his neck.
You did so nice.
He did good with that, so he got a treat for that too. I definitely go through a lot of treats. He's a very curious boy, and you can see here he's sniffing the ground and he's checking out some of our potholes we have in New York. Then we turn down the driveway, and behind this shed lives the horse trailer. The horse trailer is not Sorrento's friend. He's very concerned about horse trailers. He's getting better. I would imagine it's because he was run onto them to be taken to rodeos. But he definitely is watchful about them.
That would be too scary.
He likes to keep an ear on it to make sure it's not going to move or go anywhere. But he did really good today.
Yeah. Good job.
You can see his friends were happy to see him. He loves sniffing poles, and he really loves mailboxes for some reason. I was really interested to see how the dismount would go, because usually I take him to the mounting block and I step off onto the large platform. But today I knew I was going to kind of jump off of him. I always ask for the halt, and I kind of wiggle my legs to let them know that I'm going to come off him. And I jump, and he just stood there, and he did a really good job.
Good boy.
I was very proud of him for that.
Yes, good boy. You can have a whole pound. Back up. Back up. Good boy. Yeah.
He did a really nice ride on the road for me. It's been quite a while since he's been out alone, and it's been quite a while since he's worn a saddle.
Yes, you did.
Most of our rides have been bareback on the trails, just easy, simple rides, so I was very happy with him, and I gave him some food. Usually he doesn't get a lot of extra calories because he tends to be on the fatter side, but he did so good that I just couldn't resist.
Yeah. You did so nice. Yes, you did. What's that on the other side of you? Is that your girth? Yeah. I know it.
He's definitely a horse that I don't tiptoe around. In fact, I try to be a bit clumsy and make an extra effort to set things on him and move things oddly just so that he never gets used to things being perfectly done or always very quietly done. You'll see how I'm going to take my saddle off. I kind of set it back on him, and I'm going to actually slide the whole setup off his butt. Really just a way to help desensitize him and get him used to different things that takes minimal time and effort. Next, he's got to get his blanket back on. He does not wear a blanket because he's cold. He has a very thick winter coat. He's a Canadian horse, but he's also almost white and gets extremely dirty if he's not wearing something, so that is why he wears a blanket. It's also been helpful with desensitizing. When I first got him, you could not get near him with any sort of blanket. He's really good with doing the leg straps up. He's never had any issue. This blanket has surcingles that undo on both sides, so I forgot what side I had them undone on. Here he's doing his best to help me. He probably thinks that we're doing stretches.
You gotta do them up. You want your treat?
You can see he has a partially blue eye in the right eye.
So nice. Oh, good boy. That's all.
He was very determined to help me.
These are gross. These are gross. You don't want them. Okay, thank you. Thank you for your help. Yes, I know. You do hug?
He did such a great job today, and I was so proud of him.
A different treat, but you have done. Oh, good boy. You did so nice. Yes, you did. Yeah. Whoa. That's just the snow sliding off the roof over there. Everyone got out of there, didn't they?
Thank you guys so much for watching and coming along on our ride. I hope you enjoyed it. Please subscribe if you want to see more, and feel free to leave me a comment if you have any questions or comments. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next one.
All right, let's go. Yeah.